Happy Sabbath to you all. Shabbat Shalom. Blessings. Greetings, everyone. How big is your faith? Is your faith strong enough that you'll stand for righteousness no matter the cost? Do you have so much faith in the Most High that He will deliver you from whatever you're faced with when you are standing for righteousness, going against the odds, willing to take losses, willing to lose out on things? Do you have so much faith in the Most High of His abilities to deliver you and have favor over you by you walking with integrity, standing for righteousness, standing for truth? This is Daniel 3. King Nebuchadnezzar made an image of gold, 60 cubits high and 6 cubits wide, and set it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. He then summoned the satraps, prefects, governors, advisors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and all the other provincial officials to come to the dedication of the image he had set up. So the satraps, prefects, governors, advisors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and all the other provincial officials assembled for the dedication of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up, and they stood before it. Then the herald loudly proclaimed, "Nations and peoples of every language, this is what you are commanded to do. As soon as you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music, you must fall down and worship the image of God, the image of gold," Salaki, the image of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. "Whoever does not fall down and worship will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace." Therefore, as soon as they heard the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, and all kinds of music, all the nations and peoples of every language fell down and worshipped the image of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. At this time, some astrologers came forward and denounced the Jews. They said to King Nebuchadnezzar, "May the king live forever. Your Majesty has issued a decree that everyone who hears the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music must fall down and worship the image of gold. And that whoever does not fall down and worship will be thrown into a blazing furnace. But there are some Jews whom you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who pay no attention to your Majesty. They neither serve your gods nor worship the image of gold you have set up." So a little story here, a little backstory. A ruler is trying to get these people to worship, fall down, bow down, worship these false gods. And they're faced with an ultimatum. You fall down, worship this, you're on our side, basically. If you don't worship it, we're going to throw you into the blazing furnace. Where are we at? Verse 13, Daniel 3 and 13. Furious with rage, King Nebuchadnezzar summoned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So these men were brought before the king, and Nebuchadnezzar said to them, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the image of gold I have set up? Now when you hear the sound of the horn, zither, lyre, harp, pipe, and all kinds of music, if you are ready to fall down and worship the image I made, very good. But if you do not worship it, you will be thrown immediately into a blazing furnace. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, "King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your Majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your Majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. This is what led me to ask the question, how big is your faith? Are you willing to stand for righteousness no matter the cost? Do you have so much faith in the Most High when, the crowd is going this way, they're trying to get you to do that? Shabbat Shalom, word of the sword. So how big is your faith? Is your faith so big that when everybody else is going this way, they're throwing ultimatums at you? Look, if you don't do this, you don't go the direction we're going, there are going to be consequences. But do you have so much faith in the Most High that he can deliver you from what they're trying to throw at you? (16) Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. So even if the Most High doesn't have favor over you standing for righteousness, will you still walk with integrity to stand for truth? Verse 19, then Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and his attitude toward them changed. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual and commanded some of the strongest soldiers in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the blazing furnace. So these men, wearing their robes, trousers, turbans, and other clothes, were bound and thrown into the blazing furnace. The king's command was so urgent and the furnace so hot that the flames of the fire killed the soldiers who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and these 3 men, firmly tied, fell into the blazing furnace. Then King Nebuchadnezzar leaped to his feet in amazement and asked his advisors, weren't there 3 men that we tied up and threw into the fire? They replied, certainly, your majesty. He said, look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods. Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the blazing furnace and shouted, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come here. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire, and the satraps, prefects, governors, and royal advisors crowded around them. They saw that their robes were not scorched, and there was no smell of fire on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar said, praise be to Elohim of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and defied the king's command and were willing to give up their lives rather than to serve or worship any god except their own God. Therefore, I decree that the people of any nation or language who say anything against the against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be cut into pieces and their houses be turned into piles of rubble, for no other God can save in this way. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Take note of verse 30. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. How great is your faith? When you're faced with an ultimatum, you may have to take a few losses. You may have to go through some suffering. But like verse 30, the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. You never know how the Most High can use that, can have favor over your life for standing for righteousness, standing for truth. Will you allow the world to break your faith or Elohim to strengthen it? Yes, exactly. So, quick message today. Something to reflect, meditate on, check ourselves, reflect. How great is our faith? Are we willing to go through persecution? Are we willing to be put through the trials, put through the fires? How great is our faith? Is our faith so great that y'all can turn it around? Peace and blessings to you all. Shabbat shalom.